Hi friends. So I am going to, in this video, walk you through the home practice that we're going to be doing, about the home practice that we're going to be doing for 21 days. You can use this video anytime you need something to come back to, or at a future date if you just want the basics. As you can see, not even wearing yoga clothes, or maybe you can't see, not even wearing yoga clothes, I wanted to demonstrate this to show, and I don't have my mat here, I wanted to demonstrate this to show that really you can do this from wherever you are, as long as you have some space. I do recommend having a yoga block, and I've included a link in the course because it's nice. Like, we're going to be seated, and it's nice. Like, I can sit like this, but it's not necessarily comfortable after a while, and I tend to sink down. So the block is helpful to like lift you up and to have something to still root down upon. The other prop that I do suggest is a yoga blanket. If you don't have a yoga blanket, you can use any other type of blanket. Or you can just grab like a pillow. So I grabbed a pillow, and when we do some of the breath work, I'll add that to my block as a, not even as a more cushiony place to land, just to give myself slightly more height. You can definitely sit on two blocks if you need to. And we'll also use this when we come into pigeon. So we won't need those props right away. Let's go ahead and start on hands and knees. So come to hands and knees. Actually, if you have your block, you can grab it into a tabletop position. Hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. This is going to be how we start most of our practice. Plug your feet in, plug your hands in, and you can use the block to measure up to make sure that you're at 90 degrees, so that your legs are at 90 degrees. I'm looking at the video camera as I'm filming this, or as my computer screen as I'm filming this, so I can see myself set up. And actually, I'm going to adjust it slightly down so y'all can see that. And then also you can line up the block behind your forearms to make sure that they are at 90 degrees as well. And this 90-degree angle sets us up in the joint space to move from a really secure and supportive place. Plug the feet down, plug the legs down, and then start to move through your cat and cow, inhaling and exhaling. And you can go slow and really articulate the movement in the spine, but you will start to speed this up, letting it be part of the breath work, the movement. Depending on what time of day it is or how you're feeling, again, you can adjust the speed and the intensity. But really, the purpose here is to start to move some energy and fire yourself up. So let's go for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in, neutral spine, and full breath out. All right, we're going to do a little wrist work to open up the wrist. So turn your right palm around 180 degrees. And then you'll start to take circles around that wrist. Looking forward, pull your right collarbone out towards its own side and start to circle that wrist. Noticing this might be really challenging for you. Try and get the palm all the way around. If not, you can bring it out towards the side. But opening up all of the spaces of this wrist joint, lubricating the joint, opening the joint. Nice. And then switch directions. So if you went clockwise, go counterclockwise, and vice versa. Noticing if there's a spot in the wrist where you don't like to go. Notice if, like me, you're hyperextending this other elbow, and put a gentle bend into it. And keep looking forward, broadening through those collarbones. Nice. Come back through stillness without any drama. Turn that palm around, plug it right back in. And then left palm flips around. Again, 180 degrees if you can, and start to take circles around that wrist. So I started just intuitively going counterclockwise on this side, the left side, keeping a micro bend in both elbows, and opening up that wrist joint. Left collarbone out towards its own side, and then switch directions. So taking it clockwise if you went counterclockwise like me, or vice versa. And you also will start to feel, this is like a gentle massage too in your kneecaps, and all the fluid in your kneecaps starting to massage that open here. Good, come back through center, plug that palm down, again, without any drama. Tuck your toes and come to sit back on your heels. You might want to bring your block along for the ride. Oops, boob popping out. You might want to bring your block along for the ride. If this is really intense for you, you can bring the block in between your heels and your seat. And we're opening up, I mean, it's meant to be a little intense, opening up the bottoms of the feet. So just pausing here for a moment. And actually today, let's do a little breath work here. Reach the arms up. You can hook the thumbs right above the head, and we'll do a round of Kapalabhati, which is a breath of fire, something you'll get familiar with as we move through this series together. Take a regular breath in and a regular breath out. Inhale halfway and begin to pump the breath all on the exhale out through the nose. So I find practicing the breath work here allows me not only to move more energy, but also to take some of the focus off what's going on with the feet. So going for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in. Taking another sip through the mouth like you're sipping through a straw. Squeeze your pelvic floor up and in. And then imagine the breath shooting out the crown of the head like you're popping the cork to a champagne bottle. Release the arms down, release the feet, and come back onto your hands and knees, onto your tabletop. You can tap the tops of your feet out onto the mat if that feels good. Keeping the toes untucked, go ahead and sit back again, but with the toes untucked. This might be enough for you. Try and keep the knees together, not going into a child's pose or like a wide knee version here. You can bring the fingertips back, and then if you'd like to go deeper, you can start to lift the knees up. Lift the knees up. And so here we just opened up the bottoms of the feet, the soles of the feet. Here we're opening up the tops of the feet. So starting to lift. You can also rock a little side to side. Ooh, just had a little cracking there. There might be a place for me. There's always a place in like my left ankle where it feels like something's living. And so just gently massaging that out. Nice. And then come back through center one more time. Let's just tuck the toes and sit back on the heels to neutralize. And back to your hands and knees. This time, come up onto your fingertips, and we're going to start to take circles with the hips. So big circles with the hips, kind of isolating this movement in the lower body. Look forward, spread your collarbones forward. And then if it feels, I don't know, just if it feels good for you, if it feels natural, if your shoulders and your head and your neck start to get involved, they can. They go in the opposite spin. And I find it just don't think about it. Just move. Good. And then go back through center, switch directions, maybe start with the hips, isolating that movement. And then this side is always harder for me. If you want to get the head and the neck involved, let them be involved. But don't start to collapse in the shoulders. Keep that broadening in the collarbones. Awesome. Come back through center, bring your palms down. Tuck your toes, and then send your hips up and back for a downward facing dog. So in Katonah yoga, we bend our knees in down dog, and we also measure it out to make sure that we're at a proper distance. So I'm a little short here. Come forward into a high plank pose. This is your measurement for your down dog. Keep your hands and your feet right where they are. Bend your knees and your hips up and back, down dog. Now, those of you who've practiced with me before, you might know the reason for the bent knee. When we straighten the legs, we lock the legs and we tend to dump in the lower back. You can see that my lower back is kind of curving, and I'm over accentuating it for this video. But then if you lift the heels, bend the knees, and stick the buttock bones up, you can create more space in the lower back. And it's always helpful to have space in the back. Once again, come forward to your high plank pose, look forward, spread your collarbones forward, and then send it back to a dog and go between plank and dog a few times. Again, you can go kind of slow, or you can start to pump this. What we're doing here is working the hinge of the hips. Come back to your dog, and then come forward to your plank. We'll drop the hips for a modified up dog so the toes stay tucked, collarbones stay wide, legs are active, so your pelvis is floating here. And then use your core and the hinge of your hips to send it back to a dog. Let's do 3 like that. Inhale, come forward to your high plank, and then through to your modified up dog, and back to your down dog. I'm noticing I'm really locking those elbows. We never want to lock a joint. Inhale, come forward and through, and then back to a dog. And then from here, let's lift the right leg up and just take some circles with the hips. This always feels good for me, especially first thing in the morning. So just take some circles in the hips, left leg up, some circles in that hip, and then come back to your downward facing dog. Walk your feet to your hands to your feet. You're gonna come into a hang. Again, a little bent knee here. And what we're working towards is to really articulate that hinge in the hips and get the chest to the thighs. If your arms don't make it all the way down to your ground or the mat, that's okay. Grab for opposite elbows and let gravity start to pull you down. Notice if you sit back in the heels, or notice if you're so far forward. See if you can root down through all 4 corners of the feet. So ball of the big toe, ball of the pinky toe, outer heel and inner heel. And then your sitting bones work to align over the heels. Mine are a little back. I tend to sit back in my heels. So the work for me is to keep lifting those sitting bones up, letting my upper body drop. Taking another breath in here and another breath out. And then we'll slowly start to roll up. So release the arms, rolling up 1 vertebra at a time. Go slow. Oops, you can't see me. Reach the arms up. Grasp, don't come down, but I just want to show you what I'm doing. Grasp for opposite thumbs above your head and take a little side stretch. Side to side, just opening up the side waist. And then we'll come down. We're going to do 3 hangs, so 2 more. Drop the fingers down, drop the head, drop the neck, lower all the way down. Slight bend in the knees. Make sure that your feet are hips width distance, so that's 2 fists apart. Lift those sitting bones up. Grab for opposite elbows. And then send your knees to your armpits. Breathing into your back body. Letting your upper body relax and release. Once again, release the arms. Slowly roll up 1 vertebra at a time. Reach the arms up, hook opposite thumbs, and then take a little stretch. Side to side. Opening up through the side waist. I'm lifting the heel towards the leg or the side that I'm going towards. Just articulates the stretch. And then bend in the knees point straight forward. 1 more, drop the hands down, drop the head, drop the neck, roll all the way down. This time you choose, you can take opposite elbows, or you can interlace the fingers behind the head at the nape of the neck. Elbows point down and just allow that traction to get you a little deeper into the fold. Release the arms, slowly roll up 1 more time. This time, let's interlace the fingers and lift the hands up, stretching out through the wrists. And then one more time, fold forward, drop the hands, drop the arms, let them dangle like wet spaghetti. Roll all the way down, and then step back to your downward facing dog. So you can step it back, measure it out, come forward to your plank, and then back to your dog. If you have your blanket or your block, you're gonna want it here because we're gonna come into pigeon. So bring that right shin forward. Gotta adjust my camera again. I'm sweating a little bit. It's also because it's like 86 degrees when I'm filming this and I just turned the AC on. But you might find you sweat, especially when we get into the hips. So right knee is off towards its own side. The left foot doesn't have, or the right foot doesn't have to be up towards the front of the mat. You can grab your block and place it underneath your perineum. You can also use your blanket or your pillow here, and then come down. If you have another block, you can place it underneath your sternum or underneath your head. And if not, just support yourself. What's important is that the pelvis is square here. The hips are square. So we're not just sitting off to one side. We're really working in that integrity of the fold. Seeing if you can let go, maybe let go of the jaw. The jaw, the lower part of the face, and the pelvis are deeply connected. So seeing if you can go deeper into the pose by approaching it from another perspective. And then press through your palms, send it back to a dog. Maybe come forward to a plank and an up dog just to wave it out. And then we'll come into the left side, left shin swings forward. Especially with pigeon, you might notice that the two sides are different. Allowing yourself to be supported. So putting something underneath the pelvis, underneath the perineum, and then also making sure that that back leg goes straight back. It's not like off to the side or the foot's kind of sickled. As much as you can straight back, that's going to help with the squaring of the hips, and then come down. Again, if you have another block, you can put it underneath your sternum or underneath your forehead. Ideally, you can let go of the upper body here and sink into this shape. And if your mind starts to go elsewhere, bring it back to the body. We'll talk about different practices for doing that. But for now, just breathe in to your physical form. Stay in the here and the now. That's the whole purpose of this series, is embodiment. And from that present moment is where we can hear the voice of our intuition. Press through your palms, come back to a dog. You can pedal it out, maybe come forward to a plank, up dog, down dog, and then drop to your knees and find a comfortable seat. So I mentioned that I'm going to sit up on a block, pulling the flesh away from my sitting bones and then really plugging in to the block. You can do that. You can sit on 2 blocks. 2 blocks is too high for me. So sometimes I'll do a block and a blanket, or a block and this pillow seems to be perfect. But pull the flesh away from your sitting bones so that you can root down. Your perineum plugs into something. So for women, that's the opening of the vagina, points straight down. For men, it's the place between the genitals and the anus. That plugs into the block. And then we're going to start our breathwork series here, hands to hips. And through the breathwork, we're going to move our way up the body, starting with the hips, moving to the middle floor of the body, and then eventually getting to the top floor. So start to undulate your pelvis forward and back, forward and back. And then adding the breath. Inhale, exhale. I suggest breathing in and out through your nose, but if that is impossible for you due to like seasonal allergies or something, you can definitely breathe through the mouth. But the nose is the portal to the lungs, and so that's why it's almost always most supportive to breathe through your nose. Mouth is the portal to the stomach. We don't really want air in our stomach that can cause gas. So forward and back, and you can imagine that the block or whatever beneath you is like a striking panel, and you have a match in your pelvis and you're trying to light a flame. We often refer to this little practice as lighting your pilot light. And this little practice, I mean this exercise that we're doing right here. So forward and back, forward and back. This might feel really good to you. It might feel agitating. Just keep going. We'll go for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in, full breath out. All right, now we're going to take circles with the hips. So little circles with the hips. Let's all start in a clockwise direction. And here, try not to make it a shoulder circle. This really is a hip circle. We're working in that bottom floor. You can close the eyes, go inside, and breathe. See if you can imagine that now there's a clock beneath you, and you're trying to hit all 12 hours of the clock. Bringing some awareness to where you go in your pelvis, maybe where you don't go, and adding in the breath, inhaling and exhaling. And then switch directions. So go counterclockwise. Might take a moment to switch directions. As in cat and cow, you might notice that one direction is a little bit easier for you. And then drop in. Find that clock face. Where is it easy for you to go? Where is it more challenging? Go for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. All right, moving up. Bring your hands to your shoulders and get the elbows level. So we're going to move left to right here, and then we're going to keep this rotation as we change the arms up a few different ways. So we'll go from this location where the hands are on the shoulders, interlace the hands behind the head, elbows go up, and then we'll interlace the fingers and point straight up. And with these, it's an inhale to the left and an exhale to the right. And you're really trying to get all the way around. This one's really challenging for me. And so, yeah, maybe you'll see if it's challenging for you. Maybe it's easy for you. So inhale to the left, exhale to the right. Go for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause in the middle, deep breath in. Hold the breath full. Switch the grip, so interlace your fingers at the base of your neck, elbows point straight out, and exhale. And then inhale, exhale. Elbows point straight up, so they tuck in, they roll in, but keep the shoulders relaxed. And the movement is a little smaller here, it gets smaller as we go up. So inhale, exhale, same thing. Inhale to the right, exhale to the left. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in. Hold the breath full. Reach the arms up, interlace the fingers, point your fingers, point face up. Exhale. And then final set here, in, out, in, out, in, out. And it's a really little movement. This one I like to imagine like I'm a light bulb and I'm screwing myself into the universe. But keep your sitting bones rooted down. So there's a real lengthening that's happening here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in. Hold the breath full. This time, 3 little sips, sipping through a straw through your mouth. Squeeze the pelvic floor up and in like you're sealing your bottom. And then exhale, shoot the breath out the crown of the head like you're popping a cork to a champagne bottle. Let the arms come down. Feel the shift. Feel the chemical shift that is already happening in your body, the energetic shift that's already happening in your body. Okay, 2 more practices, 2 more sets. One arm out, one arm in. You're going to tap the chest with the hand that's in, and then you're going to alternate hands, all on the exhale. So out, 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 out. So especially at this first beginning or the beginning of this set, you can imagine like what you're clearing out of your mind, your body, your energy space here. Out, 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 out. So you're taking these things out. And then as you feel clear, as you feel like there's nothing left that you want to take out, you can start to call things in and bring things in here. What are you bringing into this heart space, this center of your chest? In Katonah yoga, this is the personal shrine. This is like the room of your own personal temple. So what are you bringing in? But still, breath is out. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in, reach the arms up. Hands form cups, 3 little sips like you're sipping through a straw. 3 more sips. 1 sniff. And then exhale, shoot the breath out the crown of the head. Keep the arms up. All right, hands form cups as if gifts were going to rain down from the universe as we do this final breathwork series, and you wanted to catch them in your hands. So make your cups really cup-like. And then all on the exhale, 100 breaths out through the nose. Even when you want to stop, when it gets a little challenging, see if you can keep going, if you can relax into a new phase and keep going. Maybe it's not as strong, you peel back a little bit, but keep pressing the breath out. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in. Hook the thumbs above your head. 3 more sips like you're sipping through a straw. 3 more sips. Squeeze the pelvic floor up and in. 1 more sniff. Keep the eyes closed. Exhale the breath out the crown of the head. Release the arms down. Moving into our meditation. Perhaps Perhaps asking in these next few moments to receive a message, an insight, a point of clarity from your intuition. And even though we're going to remain still, we're going to continue to work with the breath as a way to stay present and as a way to stay embodied. To begin and inhale, imagine the breath rising up the front of the body like spring rising. Holding the breath full, like summer ripening above your head. Exhale, release the breath like fall descending down your back. And then hold the breath empty for winter beneath you. Inhale, spring rises. Imagine the breath rising up your front. Hold the breath full for summer ripening above you. Exhale, release, fall descends down your back. The breath descends down your back. Hold empty for winter beneath you. One more round. Inhale, spring rises. Hold the breath full for summer ripening above you. Exhale, release, fall descends down your back. Hold the breath empty for winter beneath you. We're going to reverse that flow and switch up the imagery. With this breath, you can imagine that you're creating this cocoon for yourself by wrapping your body with the breath, merging the energetic and the physical. Inhale, imagine fire rising up your back. Drive, will, focus, determination. And then exhale, imagine grace descending like rain down your front. Inhale, fire rises up your back. Exhale, grace descends like rain down your front. One more inhale, fire rises. Feel that effort, that drive. And then exhale, receive the grace, the gifts. Let it flow like water down your front. We'll end our practice today with a magic square meditation. Perhaps the most well-known, most magical of the Katonah yoga techniques. In this meditation, again, we'll be traveling through the body space with the breath and with the imagination. And I'll walk us through it this time. So all you have to do is listen to the sound of my voice. First, imagine a golden thread, a golden column of light dropping from the universe through your skull, through your throat, through the center of your chest, down out through your perineum. That's one. For two, you'll travel up to the back of the head on the right. So not just bouncing from point to point, but also tracing the line, extending the space from one, your perineum, to two, the back of your head on the right. Maybe noticing where that piece of you is in time and space. For three, you come around the back to the left shoulder, the left arm, the left hand. Perhaps you feel the left collarbone pull out more towards its own side. For four, you'll bounce up to the left eye, the front of the head on the left. For five, you'll drop to the center of that chest, the center of you. As I said, this is your personal shrine, the temple that exists within you. And then six, you'll travel down to your right sitting bone, your right leg, your right foot, rooting that down into the earth. 7, you'll travel up to your right shoulder, your right arm, your right hand. 8 goes around the back, down to the left sitting bone, the left leg, the left foot. Root that down. And then 9, you'll come up your front to your third eye, the seed of your intuition. And 10, you'll draw a circle around yourself, circling your circumference. We'll do this one more time, a little bit faster. 1, drop a line, a golden thread down from the universe, down through your skull, through your throat, through the center of your chest, down out through your perineum. 2, bounce up to the back of your head on the right. 3, travel around your back to your left shoulder. 4, bounce up to the left eye. 5, drop into the center of your chest, the center of you. 6, travel down and root down through that right hip, that right sitting bone, that right leg. 7, bounce up to the right shoulder, the right arm. 8, go behind your back down to that left root, that left sitting bone, that left hip. And 9, come up through center to your third eye. 10, draw a circle around yourself, circling your circumference. Just taking a few final moments here to notice your experience. Notice if you feel different from when we began. Allowing a final moment to reflect on any insights, any downloads, any sparks of clarity that you received through this practice. And also acknowledge that what you've done here will carry with you throughout the rest of your day, the rest of your evening. The work doesn't stop when we step off the mat or the metaphorical mat. It's when the real practice begins. When you're ready, you can go ahead and open your eyes. Thanks so much for joining. I will see you all very soon.